friends, I am so excited about today's video. I'm going to be sharing some bits and pieces of our vacation out to Wisconsin. We stayed in a 100-year-old barn that has been restored and converted into a living space. The owners, Rod and Christy, were absolutely so special. They have become so much more than hosts. They are now our dear friends, and we made so many special memories together. Anyways, I'm going to stop blabbing and just start the tour. I want to thank Prepared Hero Fire Blanket for sponsoring today's video. I'll talk more about them in a bit. Enjoy this gorgeous, inspirational footage. You can see just how beautiful all of the property around their home and barn was. They have poured so much time and energy into all of the landscaping, and this little garden shed was my absolute favorite. I love the stone that they added and just all these little areas and pockets where they put fencing and rose bushes and hostas. It was just gorgeous. And there was a basketball court in the back where my boys played the entire week. I thought that was so neat that they had that space. But you can see the original stone on the barn here is just gorgeous. I could not stop filming it for you guys. And her little flower gardens were stunning. I loved walking through them, and I had to take some footage of this little area for you guys. So all of this stone you see kind of surrounding the property was taken from a barn nearby, an old German barn that was being torn down. And you can see here Ethan and I enjoying some of the property and going on walks around it. It was so peaceful. But as you step inside the barn, you guys, it just takes your breath away. You think the outside is stunning, but then you step inside and it almost brought me to tears a few times just seeing this beautiful barn. To me, barns are just a symbol of America's history and just hardworking men and women who came here and just tried to live off the land. And I love the fact that they rescued this beautiful piece of history. I loved all the antiques all throughout this space. There were a couple of loft bedrooms, which were so neat, and my boys just loved sleeping up in these spaces. You can see all of the little antiques and details. Christy just decorated it so beautifully, and I loved every single detail. this little area here, there was a Murphy bed that came down that Mike and I were able to sleep in, so that was really cool. And then right off of the dining room was the bathroom, and this was one of my favorite spaces actually. I loved this bathroom. Does the ceiling remind you of anything? Our bathroom that we just redid. I loved the tub, and they used sinks. I think they said they came out of an old schoolhouse. But every detail in here was so beautiful. I loved getting ready in the morning and being in this space. And they were able to hide all of the electrical and all of the plumbing, which was just amazing. You don't often see that in an old barn that's been restored. But you can see here on the windowsills all of his bottle collections that he has collected over the years. And I just love the way they reflected the light in the bathroom windows. Here's another loft bedroom area. Now this space was probably my boys' favorite because there were lots of little toys for them to play with, along with this fun sled or sleigh, I guess you would call it. But here's the view from this bedroom space. Just all of the views from the upstairs were incredible. And I guess Mike took this shot of me walking around and just looking at everything. I felt like I discovered something new every single day. One of our favorite features was this TV cabinet that Rod put together out of an old, I think it was an old pie safe. But you can see the TV was hidden inside of it. How cool is this? What a neat idea. My boys thought it was so awesome. And right inside here, they had some fun DVDs for the family along with the remote and everything. So I just thought that was really clever, and I'm all about hiding the big black box. I've done it twice in my own home, so I had to share that with you guys. On the way downstairs, you can see more of Rod's collections. He had so many neat things, and he had them displayed really beautifully, which I just loved. He actually had an amazing tobacco box collection down in the basement, and he was very proud of them. I loved looking at all of them, and the oldest box he had dated back to the Civil War, which I thought was so neat. But on the very first night, we just had such a connection with Rod and Christy. They actually invited us over to their home, which was right there on the property. Look at her gardens. They are just incredible and so inspiring. And they fed us dinner, and I just loved her home. It was so warm and inviting, and oh my goodness, they were just the sweetest people. And I asked her if it was okay if I took some footage, and she said absolutely. So I just loved this little table in her living room area, and of course she found toys for the boys to play with, which I thought was so sweet. But this jar really caught my attention. She had all these little items in this antique pickle jar, and my favorite was this letter from the 1800s. It was just an order for, I believe it was combs. I could be wrong about that. I'd have to pause the video, but just little items like that. This little craft room was so beautiful. I love the way she had it all styled, and you can just tell she has such a good eye, and her collection was so beautiful. Before I share the rest of our adventures with you guys, I want to take a moment to share the Prepared Hero fire blanket with you guys. Many of you may not know this, but my husband was actually a volunteer fireman for over 10 years. So we both witnessed a lot of heartbreaking fires and the loss of just so many homes during that time. So learning about fire safety and teaching our children about fire safety has always been so important to Mike and I. And we often talk about what to do in case of fire, but I think having the right tools on hand is crucial so that you can be prepared in case of a fire. Guys, you can tap the link below in my description to save up to 56% on the Prepared Hero fire blankets. This works for new and returning customers. Let me tell you a little bit about this awesome tool. Now, one thing that I love so much about the Prepared Hero fire blanket is that it is so easy to use. When there is a stressful situation, sometimes I feel overwhelmed or frozen, and this can be used in 3 simple steps. So you just order the blanket, you pull on the tabs, and you cover the fire. It is that easy. And for me, this is the type of tool that I need in an emergency situation. I don't have time to figure out how to use a bulky fire extinguisher. This is exactly what I need to have on hand, and I think everyone should have one of these in every room of their house. The Prepared Hero fire blanket can rapidly extinguish fires in your kitchen, maybe while you're camping, car fires, electrical fires, even grill fires, which happen so often. This emergency fire blanket is resistant to high temperatures. It can be placed on both people and objects. There's no expiration date, which I love. It's easy to store and use. You can hang it up right here. And it was developed by safety experts and designed right here in the USA. The Prepared Hero fire blanket would make a great gift for someone you love. And I love the fact that these Prepared Hero fire blankets extinguish the fire rapidly without all the mess and uncertainty. You simply pull and spread for immediate and chemical-free fire suppression. Guys, having the Prepared Hero fire blanket is a simple and effective way to enhance home safety and preparedness. So like I said before, guys, if you click on the link in the description below, you can save up to 56% on your Prepared Hero fire blanket. This works again for new and returning customers. So stock up now, grab one for every room in your home. You can never be too safe. I have so much peace of mind now knowing that this is in my home if I ever need to put out a fire quickly. I love the fact that I have the Prepared Hero emergency fire blanket, and I want all of you guys to have one too. So make sure you click that link in my description box below so that you can save up to 56%. I know you guys are gonna love having these in your home, so take advantage of this incredible offer. So on the way to Wisconsin, we drove through Chicago and we were able to visit the Shedd Aquarium. If you have young children, it was such a neat experience. The boys got to see a lot of cool stuff. There was a dolphin show, and they actually saw was it an anaconda? Snake? I can't remember. They got to see like a feeding take place, and it was pretty intense, but my boys loved it. Anyways, super neat place. You have to check it out if you're ever going through that area. And of course, my boys, we were from a tiny little town in Michigan. So seeing Great Big Chicago, that in and of itself was really exciting for them.
This is as good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many.
Of course, as you make your way north, we ended up in Wisconsin, and we were just 20 minutes from the Wisconsin Dells. We didn't do any water parks or anything like that. It was kind of chilly. I'm more into like nature and history. And so we decided to take a riverboat tour. The first tour we did was awesome. So we rode an original duck boat from World War II that was built in Pontiac at General Motors in 1942. My great-grandfather was a manager at General Motors in Pontiac during the World War. And it's possible that he could have put his hands on this vehicle that our family was driving. Like, goosebumps, it's so crazy. But it was so fun. It rode on land and water, which was really neat. But then in the afternoon, we went a little faster, took a jet boat tour, And that was a lot of fun for the boys. Started off slow, but then we sped up and we got to get off the boat and do some exploring. And that was absolutely gorgeous. Such an amazing experience. I highly, highly recommend it if you're ever in that area.
On my face, all that ever was is a wreck. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Tomorrow, there's no time to borrow.
Of course, on the way home, we decided to add a few hours to our trip and go home through the UP. So our first stop was Pictured Rocks. If you're familiar at all with Michigan, this is just, you know, a must-see. Absolutely breathtaking. I took so much footage and I decided to spare you guys, but here are a few clips. It was gorgeous and just breathtaking. We took a boat tour so that we were able to see everything, and it was really cool how close we were able to get to some of the rock formations.
Let me be your reminder, we will find the beats for this dream. Not too far from the heart, there's a star. Oh, have me as a reminder when it stings. When you're busy growing up, know that I'm right here. But everything is messed up and it feels like no one cares. Turn this way.
After that, we spent the night there in Munising, and then we drove the next day to Tahquamenon Falls. And to me, that's just like, that's a childhood staple. My dad took me there 2 or 3 times as a kid, so I wanted to take my boys so bad, and of course it did not disappoint. We went to the lower falls first. They were gorgeous. And then we went to the upper falls, which unfortunately were under construction, so we didn't get quite as close as we wanted to. But it was still really neat to see those as well.
Know that I'm right here, but everything is messed up and it feels like no one cares. Turn this way. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where I am or what I'm doing. Ooh, you're what matters. busy growing up, know that I'm right here. But everything is messed up, and it feels like no one cares. When you're busy growing up, know that I'm right here. But everything is messed up, and it feels like no one cares. Turn this way.
And then we finished off the trip with visiting Castle Rock, which again, when you cross the Mackinac Bridge, it's just something you have to do. It's quite the hike, but it's a lot of fun. And my dad said when he was a kid, there was a sign that said, you can climb for just a dime or something like that. Now they charge you $1. But it's just beautiful views. And afterwards, of course, we took the Mackinac Bridge back home to the Lower Peninsula. And anyways, I just thought it was such a beautiful, inspiring trip. And I just came home feeling tired, but also in some ways just so thankful and filled with so much gratitude for the whole experience and the time we got to spend as a family. So I just wanted to share it with you guys. I thought you would enjoy it. I know so many of you, have the same sort of taste as I do. Obviously, if you're watching, maybe you don't, I don't know, but I just thought that you guys would really appreciate this footage, the home, Rod and Christy's home and their barn, and they actually sent me away with a lot of antiques, too many probably, for me to find a place for, but that's okay. I'm planning on sharing a lot of those in a future video because I just ran out of time in this video, but can't wait to share all those finds with you from Wisconsin. But anyways, thank you so much for watching today. If you are new to my channel, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.